So these three facets, I think, are absolutely key. The first is a sense of intention. What is it that I'm hoping will happen? What is the kind of values that I'm moving towards? Why is this important to me? So, for example, with mindfulness-based cognitive therapy for depression, people tend to be quite motivated. And when they come, it's really surprising, certainly when I started teaching 20 years ago, how engaged people are. It's because their intention is so clear. They don't want to get depressed again. And I think John Kabat-Zinn would say the same thing about MBSR. People are in chronic pain. They want to find a way of living with that chronic pain because their physicians have not been able to provide them with a solution. Now, in our lives, that might feel less urgent, but the more we can have a sense of why is this important to me? Why is this something that has a kind of a sense of priority and urgency, the more that is a part of mindfulness. So there's a sort of examination, implicitly and explicitly, of our values. Is it about a sense of being awake and alive? Is it about a sense of connection? Is it about a sense of having a sense of purpose and mastery in our lives? The second facet that people perhaps know less about, think less about, is the attitudes that we bring in our awareness. And in sort of Buddhist psychology and in the kind of ancient traditions, these are sometimes called the Brahma Viharas, but it's broader than that. It's kind of a sense of bringing a quality of friendliness to our awareness, being curious, being caring, being interested, having a sense of courage and a sense of moving towards, but also a sense of balance and equanimity. And the third, which I've left for last because I think it's the one that people most often think about, is attention and awareness itself. This by itself is not mindfulness, because if this by itself was mindfulness, the attention that we use to game, or even worse still, for example, with the sniper and shooting, that would be mindfulness. Mindfulness only becomes mindfulness when it's imbued with this quality of friendliness and care and kindness, and has this sense of being oriented towards a sense of values and an ethical framework. But what's absolutely key to this sense of moving mindfulness into people's lives is this fourth facet, mindfulness. Bringing this into play through action in our lives. This isn't something that we do on a meditation mat or a yoga mat. This is something, if you think about the word practice, for example, what are we practicing for? We're practicing for our lives. And sometimes people have asked me, with this idea of mindfulness integrated into people's lives, could you summarize it into a sentence? And what I say sometimes is, in a way, you're asking people to do absolutely nothing differently, but also absolutely everything differently. What do I mean by that? Is in the small moments of our day, can we make what John Kabat-Zinn calls this orthogonal shift? Can we, in the small moments of our day, bring awareness, care, choice, a connection with our values? So our life becomes our practice. Intention, attitude, attention, and crucially, action.